Have you ever looked at your bank account on a Tuesday night and thought, wait, where did my money actually go? You got paid 10 days ago. You swore this was the month you'd finally be a grown-up and save. But somehow, halfway through the cycle, you're back to checking balances at the grocery store checkout, feeling that slight pang of anxiety and hoping no unexpected car repairs or dental bills pop up. If that sounds familiar, let me tell you something I wish someone had told me years ago. You aren't bad with money. You've just been trying to build a house without a blueprint. Today, I'm breaking down the most beginner-friendly blueprint in existence, the 50-30-20 rule. By the end of this video, you won't just understand the theory, you'll have a step-by-step system to reclaim your paycheck, even if every other budget you've tried has ended in a pile of receipts and regret. Welcome to Finance Pit Stop, fueling your budget, tuning your investments, and putting your money in pole position. If you want practical money advice without the fluff, the complex maths, or the coffee-shaming guilt, you're in the right place. Quick pit stop for a disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. Everyone's engine runs a little differently, so always do your own research or consult a professional before making major financial pivots. The 50-30-20 rule is a framework popularized by Senator Elizabeth Warren in her book, All Your Worth. It's designed to divide your after-tax income into 3 clear buckets: 50% for needs, the must-haves to stay alive and employed; 30% for wants, the nice-to-haves that make life worth living; 20% for savings and debt paydown, your future self's foundation. That's it. There are no complicated spreadsheets with 47 different subcategories. You don't need a PhD in finance. When I first saw this, I thought it was too simple to be effective. I thought budgeting had to be painful and involve tracking every spend. The lesson is that simplicity isn't a weakness. It's a superpower. The best budget isn't the most detailed one. It's the one you actually stick to. Why most budgets fail and why this one doesn't. Most people fail at budgeting because they treat it like a restrictive diet. You know the one where you say, I'm only eating kale and water, and then 3 days later you're face down in a box of donuts. Standard budgets are often too rigid. I remember trying a zero-based budget years ago. I spent 2 hours every Sunday logging transactions into an app. If I spent £5.50 on a coffee instead of £5, the whole system turned red. It felt like I had a second job as a bored accountant. Eventually, I just stopped opening the app. The 50-30-20 rule gives you boundaries, not chains. It focuses on the big picture so you don't lose the forest for the trees. The 50%, the needs. The first half of your income goes towards your obligations. Needs include housing, that is rent or mortgage; utilities such as water, electricity, and heating; groceries, the food, not the fancy steak dinners; transportation, such as car payments, gas, or a bus pass; finally, but not least, insurance and minimum debt payments. The hard truth lesson is when I first did this maths, I realized my needs were actually at 65%. Why? Because I was calling my £60 a month ultimate sports package cable bill a need. I told myself I needed it to unwind. The test is that if you lost your job tomorrow, would you keep paying for it? If the answer is, I'd try to cancel it immediately. It's a want, not a need. My pro tip is, if your needs are over 50%, which is common in high cost of living areas, don't panic. This is a signal to look at your big 3: housing, transportation, and food. That's where the real progress is made, not by cutting out a £4 latte. The 30%, the wants. This is where people get surprised. A budget that tells you to spend 30% on fun, Wants include dining out and drinks with friends, streaming services such as Netflix and Spotify, the premium gym membership, hobbies and travel, new clothes that you don't strictly need for work. I used to live in a cycle of binge and purge spending. I'd be good for 2 weeks, then get frustrated and blow £200 on a weekend because I felt deprived. By allocating 30% to wants, I gave myself permission to spend. When you know you have $400 a month set aside specifically for fun, you stop feeling guilty about the Friday night pizza. You actually enjoy your money more because you know the bills are already covered. The next 20% is on the future you. This is the most important bucket. This is your freedom fund. This category covers emergency fund for 3 to 6 months of expenses, retirement contributions, extra principal payments on high-interest debt such as credit cards, general investing. The lesson is start small. When I started, 20% felt like a joke. I was living paycheck to paycheck. If I had waited until I could save a full 20%, I'd still be at zero today. I started with 1%. Then, every time I got a small raise or finished paying off a small debt, I bumped it up by 1 or 2%. The lesson: you don't find the 20%. You build towards it. A tale of two spenders. Let's look at a quick example. Imagine you take home £4,000 a month. £2,000 for needs such as rent, groceries and your car. £1,200 for wants such as going out, hobbies and Netflix. £800 for savings, investments and debt payments. Without this rule, you might spend £2,500 on needs such as a bigger apartment than you can afford, and £1,300 on wants, leaving only £200 for savings. Over a year, that's the difference between having £9,600 in the bank versus only £2,400. Small shifts in these percentages change the trajectory of your entire life. Personal struggles and lessons. I remember my first month trying the 50-30-20 rule. I thought I could magically stick to it without changing any habits. I overspent on wants in the first week. I bought a few unnecessary gadgets and went out to eat more than planned. But instead of giving up, I reviewed my spending and realized the power of tracking consciously. That moment taught me that budgeting isn't about restriction, it's about awareness. Seeing the numbers made me feel in control for the first time. Another personal insight: start small. The first time I allocated even 5% to savings, I felt like I was making no difference. But over a year, that small change snowballed into over £1,000 in emergency funds. It's easy to feel discouraged when you think 20% is impossible, but every little bit counts. Celebrating those small wins keeps you motivated to stick to the system. One thing that really helped me was questioning every purchase. Is this a need or a want? For example, I used to think my daily coffee from the cafe was a need, but once I started making coffee at home, I realized it was a want. And I reallocated that money to my wants bucket where it actually belonged. That tiny change saved me over £100 a month without me feeling deprived. Dealing with income fluctuations. The 50-30-20 rule isn't rigid. It adapts to income changes. When I had months with extra freelance work, I didn't just blow it all on fun stuff. Instead, I put the extra into savings and investments, which gave me a sense of security I didn't have before. Conversely, when my income dropped, I adjusted my wants temporarily, which prevented panic and debt accumulation. Common pitfalls and how to dodge them. The lifestyle creep trap. You get a raise and immediately move into a nicer place. Suddenly your needs bucket eats your savings bucket. Lesson: when your income goes up, keep your needs percentage the same and boost your savings first. The hidden debt mistake. People often put all debt payments in the needs bucket. Only the minimum payments are needs. Anything extra you pay to pay off that credit card balance comes out of the 20% savings or debt bucket. The irregular expense. Surprise, your car insurance is due once every 6 months, and it ruins your budget. Lesson: divide that big bill by 6, and charge yourself that amount every month in your needs bucket. How to start today: the 10-minute audit. Don't wait. Do this right now. Find your take-home pay. Look at your last 2 pay stubs. The quick sort. Look at your banking app for the last 30 days. Be honest. Was that £80 spend a need or a want? Identify. 1 spend. Find one thing in your wants that you don't even enjoy anymore, like that subscription you forgot about, and cancel it. Move that money to the 20% bucket immediately. Budgeting isn't about saying no to yourself. It's about saying yes to what truly matters. Be the driver of your life, not a passenger watching numbers fly by. If this breakdown made sense, tap like. It helps a ton. Subscribe to Finance Pit Stop for fast lane money strategies. In the comments, tell me which bucket is toughest right now. I'll jump in with tips. Start small, stay consistent, give yourself grace. Thanks for watching. See you at the next pit stop.